With this video we'll look at crossing. Crossing is worth 100 points. It does not spawn troops. It has a 35 meter radius. It's 15 seconds to bring the flag down to neutral and 35 seconds to raise it up to capture. Time is about 1:14 from our main, and from Allied main about a minute. They can get into the little flag building at the river's edge shown here, basically on a run directly from their main, skirting the edge of the buildings as shown here. Bring a Bedford or a half track in and get a direct path into the small ruins building, which is almost well, very much inside the cap zone and provides great cover. Taking a look at crossing from our side of the river, make the approach to the bridge, and look here that we have no chicanes or anything. It's a direct run to the bridge, but the cap zone doesn't start until you get much closer, basically to the crates. I just ran by the building that has the ammo boxes. They're in the porch area of that particular building that was on the right as I ran by it. So you might make a note of that, but we'll look at that a little more later. You can see here I'm touching the edges of the cap zone close to the bridge. Center point of the flag is in the middle of the bridge. Here we have the log fences, but we also have our own building that's partially in the cap zone here. Provides great cover, shelter, and of course second story observation point and firing point. So we need to keep that in mind and guard this. I'm sure this is familiar to many of you about where the fighting goes on in this area and around the cap zone on this side of the river. Take another look at the porch area where the ammo boxes are on our side of the river. You can see them right by the deck chairs there. There's two of them. This gives us an opportunity that really the Allies don't have. How practical it is, I'm not sure, but it is something that can be done. If you get into sequence here, you can have a grenade spamming opportunity and basically use our ability to throw potato masher grenades long distances that they can't quite match, and then we have a more powerful grenade. Maybe two troops here would provide a mini artillery base. Now we'll look at the cap zone at crossing from the Allied side. You see that you make the approach to the cap zone. They have some buildings that give shelter on the approach. I'm not sure about the cover in the cap zone itself matching ours as you get to the river, at least on this side, but it's not bad. It has the gun emplacement ring and the rocks, and then also part of this log wall. It's going to give them firing line also, and not too bad a cover in many places along this side. So it's pretty much even. This building here is not in the cap zone though, so you know they have the one small building to provide them cover. Well, now we want to look at the area on the right hand side of the bridge, and what I think is probably the biggest feature on the Allied side of the river, and that is this small building that is very much in the cap zone. A lot of it is, and provides a great shelter, great firing base. It has a rooftop over part of it, and so it's going to be a pretty good place to hole up in and work out of to hang on to the gray of the flag. So you know we have to be concerned about that, and I would assume that you know we'd like to take it, hold it on their side, and work from it to clear them out of other areas. See, some of the other buildings here are not in the cap zone the way the small ruins building is. Of course that makes it important compared to others, although this is to me a very nice location for a squad leader right there. Could be others. And go back to the small ruins building. You see it has a rooftop with some protective walls at the top even. So there's a lot that can be done with this. Also has a supporting building in the back. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. And if we look at the building in the back, you see that it could provide a flow of troops to the ruins building, or otherwise this isn't a bad building to get into for a number of purposes also, I would suppose. And it gives a look to the road back if something's coming. You can see basically where it is on the mini-map there. Well, there's ammo boxes at the Allied side, if you want to call it that, side of the river, and there's 3 across on the floor in this building here. It doesn't give the same opportunity for doing a grenade spam, I don't think. It's just out of position for that, although it's got pretty good reload capability maybe for a bazooka. Well, we'll look for the assets on the Axis side of the river, back on that side, and over here we'll see there's a civilian truck. Basically think of it in terms of across the road and out a little ways from that are the kits. I could only find 2 kits, Russian rifle kit and a shotgun. I'll get that here. And basically they're mirror imaged on the other side of the river, the same things over there. I couldn't find a flamethrower here. If there is one, I'm not sure where it is. Okay, well, on the Allied side here, find the kits there. Remember, it's basically mirror imaged. We're going to look for the kits first, go find the shotgun, and then see, you can use the flaming tower as kind of the reference point. You can see where the kits are in relation to that, and the bridge just along this stretch of terrain there. And up a ways, kind of diagonal across, but still near the tower, is the civilian truck. So both sets, trucks and the kits, spawn upon the first capture. So, you know, if they get there first and capture it, the kits are going to be on the ground on our side and pick them up and go. So just all come in at once, whoever gets it. So let's pick up and review back to what we saw in the earlier videos. Look in the editor view at the crossing cap zone coming in from the Axis side. You can see the object lines going to where the truck and the kits are, so that'll orient you there. And you can see how the dome sphere cap zone touches on the areas we just looked at. Here is the area where the little ruins building is. Pretty important area, I think, for securing that side of the river or working out of. You can see how the 2 buildings near it can support it pretty well too. And just kind of see the extent and reach of the cap zone for this particular flag. And you know, this is a 100-point flag, so it's pretty important. There's the 2 kits. There's the civilian truck on the Axis side of the river, so-called Axis side. We'll go back across and look for the locations of the objects. That's where they'll spawn, of course. There's the kits up there, the little blue cubes, and there is the civilian truck. A pretty good reference point is the burning tower, and people can use that as I think a call-out reference point in spotting or locating enemy troops. Well, we'll see how important a role this flag really plays, and good luck, everyone.